Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. It's great to speak to you again for episode 2 of Love Island Season 1, episode 2. And it looks like we're the only daft buggers doing this, Chris. all of the other podcasts don't seem to be being bothered, but I don't know, it's good fun, isn't it, going episode by episode. So where do you want to start today?
Well, there's quite a few things in this second episode, Dave, but I just want to talk about what basically the couple that dominated the first episode, and that's Erin and Eden, because I tell you what, Dave, Erin will rip your balls off if you do her wrong. I am telling you, she's one scary young lady.
She is. But again, it'd be interesting. I mean, Eden didn't have too much camera time tonight, did he? But I can imagine those two being a power couple, but absolutely, there is no way it's going to be a monogamous relationship, So Eden's going to quite happily chat to other people and stuff, and Erin's just going to get wound up and probably doing things to your toothbrush and stuff. So
I don't know if you want to talk about, Dave.
No, so yeah, she's not happy, is she? And definitely we saw when Kim walked in, Eden had eyes for her. He said, fuck me dead or something like that. He was saying to the lads when she walked in. But I mean, what do you make of those two? Well, those three, I guess. Eden, Erin, and Kim.
Well, we like a bit of drama, Dave, and it wouldn't be Love Island and the proper, the nosy neighbour that I am looking over for the drama and looking over the fence like a meerkat was when she turned round to, I think it was Millie, and she went, well, she's an hairdresser, I'm a nurse, I've got a real career. And I was like, oh, get them nails out.
He's got claws.
Yeah, she's proper being a bitch there. But I love all that, and she really is insecure about it. And they've not been together long. And the fact that Eden was talking to Kim and he got a little bit of touchy-feely later on. I think it was Kim, Josh and Eden together. And he wasn't doing anything wrong, but he sees something there. He mentions about her because he's not with Erin as such. They are together, but they're not like, the usual bollocks.
What, you mean 2 days in? They're not,
not
ready
they're
for
not
wedding
married,
bells.
Yeah. But yeah, she's a goddamn Ed the Ball, Dave, and she will definitely stand by her man by the looks of it. It's interesting to see such an intense. And Sam said that to me. Obviously we've got the hindsight watching it. She turns to me, she went, "How intense is their relationship?" So it's funny because Dave said that straight away, and you don't know anything about this series, and it's the fact that straight off the bat you're thinking, "Wow, that is it just looks like a recipe for disaster to me."
It will be. They absolutely will. Eden's going to have a wandering eye, and Erin will rip his balls off. That is my prediction for this series.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the others? I mean, what about Kim? Because she went on a couple of dates, didn't she, with Josh and Charlie?
Yeah, she did, to be fair. It went quite well with Charlie, I thought. He seemed to come out of himself. Obviously, he was with Natasha, and that's just fell literally as soon as he coupled up. It was the worst coupling we've ever seen, to be honest, Dave, since Jordan bought a new bra and tried to make it fit. But anyway, that's a terrible joke. Terrible
Rubbish,
joke.
man. Rubbish.
terrible joke.
It's going to take us a while to get warmed up in this series, isn't it?
Yeah, that was terrible. I can only apologise for how shit that was. But anyway, he seemed to go okay. I mean, like you said yesterday about Josh, he seems like a nice guy. But he's competing in some respects. We say this all the time about Love Island. He's competing with that 1%, isn't he?
Yeah.
They're all like good-looking people from their own perspectives, the way that they are. They all got like dynamite bodies, men and women. They're all good-looking. If you saw him in a bar or a club or whatever, or out shopping, you'd be like, "Oh, that's a good-looking guy," or "It's a good-looking girl." So he's fighting something there, and I don't know whether he's got the chat. However, Kim did actually pick Josh, didn't she?
Yeah. I think Josh, he looks like he's got a film of plastic for me. He does look like a proper Ken doll, doesn't he? Probably the one off Toy Story.
A bit harsh, Dave.
No, he does. I'm sure if he did something different with his hair, he wouldn't quite look like Ken, but he definitely bloody does. And I don't know, I was a bit surprised because, I mean, Charlie was saying that she was looking at, so Kim was looking at Grant as Grant was walking around, Kim was eyeing him up apparently. So, and you can see Grant's head's turning, and we'll probably get onto Grant and how much his head does turn a bit later. But I think Kim might be a bit of a people pleaser, Chris, because Josh, when he came back from the date, was in no doubt, she's going to recouple with me. And then Charlie comes back pretty much thinking the same. And then they both speak to each other, and it's like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Well, what do you reckon? Because it just seems like she wants to. She's saying slightly different things to everyone, to keep them pleased.
Yeah, and the one thing that did keep most of the viewers pleased, Dave, is the way that she was walking around in a thong there. She was giving no shits that next morning. She knew exactly what she was doing. I was thinking, I don't remember it being as, as so upfront as that. But yeah, she was having none of it, Dave. She was just strutting her stuff. So I think the thing with her is she's only come in literally on the first day, really. Although it's the first episode for us, but it's probably the first day in it later on in the day or whatever it is.
Well, they'd slept. They'd had a couple of nights, hadn't they? From what I can tell, Kim's come in on the second evening.
Right. Okay. So she's coming the second evening. So she's not exactly, an absolute stranger, but just by default, she's going to be the one that all the eyes are on. The girls are obviously dubious of her. Is she genuine? Is she just going to come in and cause a load of shit? I think she come in I think you're right. She come in with a bottle of champagne, quite respectable to the girls. She didn't just go straight to the guys. She spoke to the girls, then she got with the guys, and they were saying that because even when Erin was being, and Taylor were being a bit bitchy, Millie had said that, as I said yesterday, but yeah. I'm not sure. What I would say, Dave, I'm not seeing much of a personality from her.
No,
she's
no.
absolutely stunning looking girl. I'm not saying she's thingy or anything, but at the moment she's not. She's sort of within herself, I think, slightly. So I don't know how that plays out.
Well, she said herself, didn't she, that she doesn't know how to speak to boys, So she sort of does. I think she knows she doesn't have much chat, but
Yeah,
I don't know, Chris. I think she's probably got by okay without it, and I think
yeah.
that's why she doesn't need to develop it.
No, and you're probably right, Dave. You're probably right. And I tell you what, though, I called out Erin there, saying she's a bit of a American Psycho sort of thing when it comes to Eden. But Cassidy and Grant, that is ridiculous. I mean, that's even worse than Erin and Eden, I think. I mean, it was a bit of action. I honestly thought that they'd slept together there. I genuinely did. It looked like they had. But either way, there was definitely a bit of action going on. And obviously, she was totally remorseful the next day.
Yeah, and I don't know. It kind of from the footage, it looked like that. But then when they were talking, it sounded like a bit less than that. I'm sure Cassidy said like they didn't have sex, but I'm not really sure. There was definitely something. There was more than a bit of heavy petting, Chris. So, but she, she's remorseful, and I think honestly, rightly so, because I think she probably thinks there's a genuine connection there, whereas I think Grant is just up for a bit of fun.
Yeah, I do as well. I genuinely do, because straight away, obviously, when they'd had this liaison together, so as such, the next day he was on the hunt for someone else, wasn't he? And Taylor sort of came into his wheelhouse, and he was picking her up. There was a bit of chat there, wasn't they? And they were dead flirty. And Taylor was even said it on the VT that if you pick someone else, you may have a chance and all that.
Yeah,
Didn't realise that Justin was sat about 6 feet away, who she was supposed to be teamed up with, and he heard fucking everything. And the next minute, Justin's fucking crying and he's budgie smugglers. So it wasn't. It was classic Love Island, but for all the fucking wrong reasons. I was pissing myself.
Yeah, I mean, but Justin then he's sort of making a play for Kim, isn't he? Because he kind of put all his cards on the table with Taylor. I don't know what to make of that Taylor, to be honest, Chris, because she doesn't give a fuck about Josh, but then when Josh got picked for a date to go with Kim, it's like, oh, he didn't even come and say goodbye or anything. It's like you pretty much told him you don't give a shit. Fucking hell, Chris. I don't get women sometimes. So it's like, you can't be together, so, but you should come and say goodbye before you go on your date. It just seems a bit odd to me.
Yeah, it does, to be fair. And, Grant, was playing a stormer there, Dave, wasn't he? It was a typical textbook Love Island heel turn, complete 180, completely like one day or within 1 hour he's all into one girl. The next minute he's into another. It's
Yeah,
just
literally.
yeah. Allegedly, Dave. Allegedly.
But you know what, Chris? It's so refreshing, isn't it? And I know we could just Google and find out what the results were, but stepping through it in this way and then speculating about what's going to happen and then completely being thrown a loop, the next episode. This is what's great about Love Island. We said about Singletown, didn't we? That, from the first episode, everyone pretty much carried along that trajectory. But then a few of them did make a little bit of a change. But over 15 episodes, there just wasn't that much variety and not much kind of drama between the different couples. And so this is why I love Love Island.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And also, if you look slightly with Singletown, which, to be fair, and we both said it, I'm not just saying it, it was a slow burner, but I did enjoy it. And if a second series comes on, I'll be all over it. I genuinely will. I'm hoping that they filmed it before the pandemic, Dave, and they've got some up the sleeve, ITV. I genuinely do, because it was quite... But the thing you've got with Love Island is, though, they all live together 24/7. Whereas in Singletown, obviously they were separated from the partners. You've got a core of like 5 or 6 in one apartment.
Yeah.
And they were going on dates sporadically, weren't they? So some of them might not be going on a date for a couple of days. So I think you're right. And there isn't the drama. It became like normal life for them as such when they were there for like a month. But you're right, with Love Island, they're just a bunch of shallow bastards. And I fucking love it. They are. I mean, the intenseness of it is fucking great. It's ridiculous that we get dragged into these like fake relationships or anything. There's only in this, well, obviously you got the Aussie one, the American one. I know there's like a German and Swedish one, Dave, but I can't find them anywhere online. And it's obviously there'd be fucking subtitles, which would be pointless. But also what I find is that I would say there's probably 1 or 2 couples who in the whole time of Love Island have ever stayed together. I think Camilla from season 3 or season 4 of the UK one, she's just had a baby with the guy she got with on the show at the end, and they've stayed together. But other than that, the ones on the first series of the UK one, they had a baby. They've split up now. There's nobody else together. But it doesn't fucking matter. For while it's on my screen, I'm completely invested in this bullshit. I really am.
Well, you got Tommy and Molly, haven't you, from season 5 in the UK?
Yes, sorry, yeah.
So they're still going strong, it seems. So yeah, I mean, fuck the longevity of it. It's all about the drama while they're in the house. Fucking backstabbing each other and throwing each other under the bus. Now, I guess, Chris, what I want to do is kind of ask you if you've got any predictions, but because you've fucking seen it already, it's no good, is it? So
yeah, let's reverse that, Dave. Have you got any predictions, Dave?
So obviously Taylor is on her own now. I don't see that she's really got much of a personality, Chris. I mean, Justin had made a play for her. She'd sort of friend zoned Josh straight off the bat, and that's obviously not worked out very well. If she went after Eden, she's basically going to have Erin after her. So I don't quite know what if it's going to be. If she doesn't couple up, then a girl leaves the villa. I think she might be fucked early doors. But of course, they might just throw in 2 boys, might they? So I just don't know. I can't see unless she makes a tactical coupling up with someone like Charlie, because Natasha's made it clear she's not interested in Charlie. So if he got the pick next time on who he's going to couple up with, then he'd be daft to pick Natasha because he knows that's a closed door. So I think if she was tactical about it, she might go after Charlie.
She could do. And I think as well, Dave, you see the friendship start to blossom, don't you, over Love Island? Like the guys, the girls. And honestly, like I say, I'm not going to ruin it or anything because it's quite interesting. You were so right what you said. I've forgotten so much. The main talking points I remember of certain characters who were there pretty much to the end or at the end. But there's loads of characters that I genuinely forgot. Like, it was like, oh, right, yeah, I remember him. But I didn't. And then I'm like, well, what happens with them? So I'm not completely 100% remembering all of it. I just know the outcome and some of the things especially some of the big things that happen within the season. So it's quite good for me to go back. And Sam said the same. He said, we were decorating when we watched most of this, which we were. We decorated a room and like these 30 episodes. I'm not joking. We must have, and it's a big room, our bedroom, and we must have watched about 10 to 12 episodes, the first 10 to 12 while we decorated it in one day. So it was just there in the background. So there'd be loads of stuff we've missed.
Yeah.
But I just love it. I genuinely stick by what I said. It's definitely up there as one of the best series of Love Island, this.
Yeah. No, I can see already, and especially, like you say, characters like Eden and Erin stand out because the second season of Love Island Australia was a bit bland, wasn't it? And everyone was fairly diplomatic, whereas you can tell there's a few head the balls in there and they're not going to give a shit. And Grant, what was it? She had a term for him, a Bodan or something.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, so I think it's like a bit of a chav. A bit rough around the edges and stuff. So, I mean, Cassidy kept calling him it. I don't think it's an endearing term, but she was using it in that way. But I tell you what, Chris, I think Grant's going to be a bit of a player, and so I think Cassidy's going to find out pretty soon that she's not that he's not asked about putting it about.
We'll have to wait and see, David.
You can't say, of course.
Of course. So, if you want to get in contact with us, and thanks everyone for tuning in and listening and downloading the first episode of Love Island Australia and everything that we've produced in lockdown. We love it, me and Dave. Anything reality, we're all over it now. So great that in the space of a year, I've converted an absolute hater of reality TV to someone who watches that over anything else. I'm even struggling now to get Dave to watch movies that we review on our other podcast because he's watching that many things. I keep suggesting stuff. He's like, no, I'm watching this. I'm watching this. Some great stuff on Netflix. No, I'm watching it. It's like, fair enough. But there is actually, Dave, you watched that Married at First Sight. I've just seen the Married at First Sight Australia being advertised as well on the UK TV. I think that's going to be on ITV2 soon.
Oh, right. That was good, Chris. That was really good. Again, plenty of drama, slightly different format to Love Island. I can't remember which season it was. I saw it was the latest one that I saw. So it'd be interesting what they're going to show and well, depending on the timing, we could always do that if they're going to re-show that again in the UK, like week by week.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. We could definitely throw it out there. But if you've got any suggestions, guys, as always, at cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And also, if you want to follow us on Twitter, at cdrealitycast. And Dave, brilliant. Get the emails in, everybody. Me and Dave just love chatting about this. And if you get time, drop us a review on the show and your podcast catching out. So, Dave, brilliant, mate. Thank you very much. Season 3, episode 3 to follow. And I cannot wait.
There's going to be fireworks. You can tell already. Also with the foresight that you've seen it before, I remember you going on about it and trying to get me to watch this season. And so, but you can tell. And normally I say it takes me about 3 or 4 episodes to really get in, understand the characters, and then get fully bought in. But I'm bought into this one straight off the bat, Chris. It's absolutely brilliant.
Put it this way, Dave. I'm like that person that you tell a secret to, and I'm literally holding my fucking fist in my mouth because there's so much I want to talk about in this series, and I can't, and I just want it to unravel. So, in some respects, I want to fucking watch about 5 episodes at a time so we can just talk about it, but you're going to love it, honestly.
Awesome. Well, I'll speak to you tomorrow night, mate, and we'll cover episode 3.
Yeah, take care, mate. Bye.
Bye now.